Hi beautiful people, I hope you all are doing great. Vivian Opio here. I am back with a new video to share with you how God taught me to love myself, to know my worth, and to know that I am deserving of all the good things and that I can ask Him anything and everything and He will deliver to me. I have always carried myself small. I have always carried myself small, especially in my career. And you'll hear me say, just start small. Just start with a small station, radio station, or even TV station, and then grow in that media house, grow in that station. And slowly by slowly, you climb the ladder. But start small, That's how I started. I started small, forgetting that God tells me in Isaiah chapter 7 verse 10 to 12 that ask anything, be extravagant and ask anything. Ask for the moon and I'll deliver it to you. So I started with a community radio station, and this particular station, I had prayed for it, and when I got the job, I was super excited to do it. However, remember this is a community radio station. You are only given a small stipend, and I was okay with it. I started the job. I felt like I was enjoying it, but after 6 months, things started to change. And so I decided to call it quits. The environment was toxic for me, and I felt like my work wasn't appreciated wasn't appreciated enough. And so I felt like my life or my stay in this station was over, and that's how I called it quits. And even though I had learned that I deserve more, and I knew that my qualifications and experience would lead me into a greater media house, into a national media house, I still applied and prayed to get a job into other small stations. And so I began looking for a job in other media houses, and I even applied for this job in different media house, even in the rural areas. And that's how I got an opportunity to work in a certain county, different county, not even my motherland. I know nobody, no relative, nobody over there. And so I had to travel all the way from Nairobi to this county with my belongings, and I started working in that station. And guys, the first day I went into this station, I was like, no, I wasn't going to, stay in this particular station for long. The environment and everything. And 3 days into it, I felt like I was going to quit. I was going to quit this particular job after 3 days of working. But again, I called myself into a meeting, and I was like, no, I'm not quitting, because God has a plan. God wouldn't allow me to travel all the way from Nairobi with my staff into this new county where I know nobody, I have no relative, and let me stay there for nothing. So I decided I will give myself some time and trust God. And even though I had no worries with God's plan for my life, I still felt like I wasn't going to work in this station for long. And let me tell you guys, after 3 weeks of working, I decided to call it quits, because the boss's wife used to frustrate my life. Plus, they didn't give me the job that I was supposed to do. I was supposed to work on TV. I was supposed to be a TV news anchor over there, but they didn't give me that. I was working on radio all throughout, which I was okay with it. I was super okay with it. But now the thing is, the boss's wife was one of the TV news anchors, and so I came to realize why she was frustrating me. I felt like she didn't want me there, but I didn't call it quits because of the boss's wife, but because the environment wasn't conducive for me. It was toxic, and even the tools for working weren't enough, and I used to go back home really tired and wake up and ask myself, I am going to work at the station again. You know, when you ask yourself such questions, just know that it's done. So I was done with the station after 3 weeks. So guys, after 3 weeks of working at this station, I called it quits because the environment wasn't conducive for me, and I kept asking myself if this is what I deserved, because that one was kind of a comedy, you know. And I even applauded myself for working there for 3 weeks. So I told my fellow editor that he was going to take over all the shifts starting the next day. And so the next day I went back to this station to speak with the boss now, and I told him that I was so grateful for the opportunity, but I had to quit because things were not going as I had expected. And I asked him to pay me for the 3 weeks so that I see how I'll go back to Nairobi, or I'll do other things. Because when I told him I'll go back to Nairobi, I just wanted him to know that he's the one who made me travel all the way from Nairobi, and now he's the one who is going to take me back, because I used my money and I have worked for him. But in real sense, I was like, no, I'm going to pay rent with this money and then continue staying here because God has a plan, you know. And that's what happened. I was so positive that God would come through. So 2 weeks after quitting, 2 weeks after saying bye to that station, I am on Facebook scrolling down, and I bump into this, you know, opportunity, and I say, okay, they want a presenter, a radio presenter stroke TV news anchor, and I see myself and I say, this is yours. So I send my application very fast. I send it very fast, and I was called for the 2 interviews, which I passed, and I started working for this station. So guys, I started working at this media house. I loved working there. Everybody plus the boss were good to me. Everything was going on smoothly until after 4 months, things started changing. I was given the night shift where I used to anchor the 9 p.m. bulletin. And you know, because I was working with a tight budget, I was working on a tight budget, and I thought that the station's car would carry me back home. It was the opposite. That was under my budget, and remember, I am working on a tight budget, so I had to always walk from work to my house. I used to walk, and remember, it's at night, and I am a baby girl. So I used to ask myself a lot of questions. I used to ask myself if I really deserved that job, and if God really wanted me to live in that kind of life, because my life was at risk. It's at night, you are a baby girl, and I used to ask myself, and I felt like no. But anyways, a lot of things were changing. Another thing that was changing was the salaries. The salary now started coming in late, and after 10 months, I decided to call it quits. You know why? Because now they started giving us half a salary. That's when I say, no, I don't think this is the life I want for myself, and that's why I called it quits. Well, in all these seasons of job hunting and getting a job, God was teaching me to love myself. He was teaching me and letting me know that I deserve to get any job that I wanted. And because I was asking for small job, I was given that. He gave me that. Because I carried myself small. And guys, I was forgetting this. I went as far as taking an internship. I went as far as taking an internship opportunity, and this was an unpaid internship. When I tell you I used to carry myself small, I mean that. I have all the experiences, I am talented, but now I took an unpaid internship. Why? Because I saw myself as a small person in this career path, and God was giving me what I was asking for. And when I took this unpaid internship, I started seeing the sense of what God was doing. God was making me uncomfortable working for these small stations, getting small money for me to see that I deserve working anywhere for any amount of money, amount of salary, but I wasn't seeing it. All this time I was actually asking for small things, and God was delivering them, you know. So how do you take yourself? Do you know your worth? Do you know that you are deserving of all the good things? And do you know that God loves you so much, and He knows your worth? You are worthy of all the good things. You are deserving of all the good things. God only wants you to realize your worth and ask for big things, you know. He will deliver it to you if you ask it with faith. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this story inspired you. May our good Lord be with you, and I will see you on my next one. Bye.